What's going on, my friends? Welcome back to your math lesson. We are on lesson 2 today. That lesson title is All Right With Me. Great job on lesson 1. I'm very proud of you. In lesson 1, we learned about points, we learned about lines, we learned about line segments, rays, and angles. All right, an angle is when you have two rays that are connected. They create this point right here. Another name for that is a vertex. Think of it like a V, right? And then that creates this little cave, and that's known as an angle. And sometimes you'll see an arc like this, and that's the angle measurement, right? So today we're going to talk about angle measurements and different names for the types of angle measurements. Before we do, I want to show you the shirt that I'm repping. University of Delaware, go Blue Hens. First state, best state in my opinion. Maybe not, I don't know. Baltimore's pretty cool too, so Maryland's awesome. It's the first state, by the way, because they were the first state to sign the Constitution in, 1787. Fact check me on that. All right, so our objective for today, students will be able to use right angles to determine whether angles are equal to, greater than, or less than right angles. Draw right, obtuse, and acute angles. So today, since we might be doing some drawing, what I want you to do, have a pen or a pencil. Have a piece of paper. It can be a scrap piece of paper. It can be your math notebook, whatever you want to use to write on. And it would have some kind of straight edge. It can be a ruler if you want. It could be the edge of a folder, just anything flat, a flat edge. All right, let's jump right into it. At this point in the lesson, you guys are done your Dreambox lessons. You should be done your number gym and your pair compare. We're going to dive right into the learning lab. Let's do it. Okay. This is pretty interesting right here. This go symbol is actually a right angle. We're going to learn all about these today.
In this lab, we're going to explore angles. We learned that an angle is formed whenever two rays share an endpoint. Different types of angles have different names. A right angle is a special type of angle. Take out a piece of paper. The corner of your paper forms a right angle.
All right, y'all. So here we can see this piece of paper on our slide, on our screen. You can also hold one up. If you look at the edge, notice you have a vertical line, vertical and horizontal. When they connect, they create this vertex. They create this angle. I'm going to show it's an angle by drawing that little arc. Take a good look. This angle is a 90-degree angle. Say it with me, 90-degree angle. So if I look at my square here, or my rectangle, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 90-degree angles, and another name for a 90-degree angle is a right angle. Lock that into your memory. That is key. Okay, so if it creates that perfectly square point or angle, that's a right angle. How many do we have here? We have 1, 2, 3, and 4. How many right angles do you see here? So it's the same piece of paper. Nothing changed, except it was rotated a little bit. So it's oriented now on a diagonal. It's on its side. How many right angles do we have? Not much change. Just the way that it's sort of turned. So we still have 4 right angles. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Bam. Good work.
All 4 corners of the paper form right angles. A right angle can look like this, or it can look like this. The paper always has 4 right angles. No matter how you turn it, it's still a right angle. Let's look for some other right angles.
All right. I want you to look around your house and I want you to find any sort of object that has right angles. So that has that angle, okay, that corner that forms a perfectly perpendicular corner, perfectly right angle. So in your house, you're looking for objects that form right angles. I want you to find 2. If you can find 2, go to Google Classroom and send me a private message. I want you to let me know what those objects are and how you know they're right angles. You can pause the video now, go ahead and do that, send the message, and come back. I'll see you in a second. All right, y'all. So I found one object. So what I found was a Rubik's Cube. I know y'all are some experts at these Rubik's Cubes. I'm not. I'm teaching you math. I need somebody to teach me this Rubik's Cube. How do I solve this thing? Anyway, if we're thinking about angles, take a look. They're made up of squares. And if I look, each of these angles, there's 4 of them on one face, is a right angle. Okay? It's perpendicular. And it forms this 90-degree angle. All right. That's my example there. I'm excited to read your examples. Right angles are everywhere. Get to know them, become comfortable with them, learn to love them. Let's move forward.
Do you think the corner of this book is a right angle? We can use the corner of a piece of paper to test it out. Look at that. The corners match, so it is a right angle.
All right, is the corner of this door a right angle? I'm taking my piece of paper. I'm going to hold it up to the picture on my screen. Yes, it fits right in. So that is a right angle. Boom. Great job. How about the corner of this gift box right here? Lovely colors too. Oh, and look at that. University of Delaware colors. Go Blue Hens. Booyah. All right. Yes, it is. I'll use my piece of paper just to check. Yep, it matches up. The corner is a right angle. Okay, is this a right angle? So now it's oriented like this. Think about our piece of paper. Here's our right angle. We have 4 of them. Here's one of them. If it's oriented pointing down, so it's a V, the angle hasn't changed. It's just rotated. All right, I'm still Mr. Prada if I'm upside down, right? It's not like I suddenly turn into Miss Costello because I'm upside down. So just because it's oriented down, facing downwards, pointing downwards, it's still a right angle. And you always know, you can tell a couple ways that it's a right angle. You can use a piece of paper. You can measure it with a protractor. I'm sorry, y'all, but I get this cool protractor. Yep. And the last way is a lot of times they'll tell you it's a right angle because they'll put this square in the angle. They'll fit it right in. And you know that that's a right angle. All the other angles will have an arc like this. It'll be rounded. All right. But this right here, my friends, boom, that is a right angle.
These are all right angles. We put the square in the corner to show that it is a right angle.
I want you to answer the question. Press enter and check your work. Let's see if you're correct. Is this a right angle? Well, it looks like a right angle, right? It looks like it's the corner of a square or a rectangle. It's got our right angle symbol. So yes, it's a right angle. You got it. Nice job. Is this a right angle? Well, we can clearly see that this angle is wider than the corner of a piece of paper. It's much wider. It's like out here. So this is larger than a right angle. It is not a right angle. Is this a right angle? Well, we have the opposite problem here. This looks like it's smaller or more narrow than our right angle. So no, this is not a right angle either. Is this a right angle? This is right on the money. Check it out. Perfectly vertical, perfectly horizontal. Those are perpendicular lines. That means when they run, when they touch, or when they intersect, they create our 90-degree angle, our perfectly square corner. And yes, this is a right angle. Is this a right angle? You're not going to fool me. You are a right angle. I can tell. It has the symbol right there. What do you guys think about this one? I want you to pause the video now, answer, press enter, and then check your work. I think that no, I think it's too wide to be a right angle. Again, this one's too narrow to be a right angle. It's closed too much.
Right angles match up with the corner of a piece of paper. Acute angles are less than right angles. This is an example of an acute angle. Obtuse angles are greater than right angles. This is an example of an obtuse angle. An obtuse angle must be less than a straight angle. A straight angle is a straight line. Now,
all right, my friends, these are your 4 vocabulary terms today. So you have acute. That means they're less than 90. And this symbol here means degrees. We measure angles in what's called degrees. You could put that little symbol, or you could spell it out like this. Degrees. Okay? Now, right angles have exactly 90 degrees. This angle here is exactly 90. Obtuse. Say it with me. Obtuse. That means it's greater or wider than 90 degrees. Okay. And then last but not least, this is called a straight angle. A straight angle means a straight line. That's all it is. Really, that's 2 90-degree angles put together. So this one's 180 degrees. Anytime you have a flat line like this, it's equal to 180 degrees. Don't worry so much about the straight edge. Today, your goal, write these down. These must be memorized. These must be committed to memory because they're going to be very helpful as we move forward. Acute, less than 90 degrees. Right angle is exactly 90 degrees. And obtuse is equal to 90 degrees. You might want to pause the video and write that down now before you continue.
now it's your turn to classify angles. Good luck.
So you're going to have something like this on your exit ticket. Let's practice it now. Here are our categories. We have acute, we have right, we have obtuse, and we have straight angles. We're going to have to drag and drop some options into the correct category. So let's take a look at each of our options here. The first one, it looks like it opens wider than 90 degrees. It's wider than a right angle, so that means it's obtuse. Here, we are smaller than a right angle. That means it'll be acute. Here, I see my right angle symbol. It's a square right in the vertex, right in the angle. Boom, right angle. And here we can see it's a straight line. So we'll put it in the straight category. Try this one on your own. I want you to pause the video, classify each of your options down here, and then press enter, see if you're correct, and check your work. I'll see you in a second. All right, we have a straight line here. This is slightly larger than 90 degrees. That's obtuse. Here we have a right angle. Different direction, but it's still a right angle. We can tell by this symbol. this little square symbol. And then we have an acute angle right here. All right, acute, right, obtuse, and straight. Lock these into your memory. Let's see if we're right. Good work. All right, this time the angles are already there. We have to name them. So go ahead and pause the video now. Name your categories, press enter, and then check your work. All right, this first category, these are smaller than right angles, so they're acute. Here we see our right angle symbol. Those are right angles. These are much, much wider than a right angle, so those are obtuse angles. And then last but not least, we have a straight line. That's a straight angle. Great job. We did it. Okay, so I'm going to let you guys do the Tower of Power on your own. So you might want to pause the video and do that now and then start it back up. Before you do, I want to give you guys a little bit of a helpful hint. I think it'll help guide you guys through your exit ticket and your Tower of Power. So if you head on over to your classwork for today, what I did was at the bottom of your assignment instructions, I put a little worksheet. These are doodle sheets. They're really fun, actually. You can fill one in on your own if you have a printer. If you don't have a printer and you just want to use it for your notes, if you scroll down, a lot of the notes are already filled in. So if you look at it, you have a right, obtuse, and acute angles, right? We talked about all of them. They give you some examples too. So a right angle would be like a whiteboard, the edge of a whiteboard, the edge of an index card, the edge of a piece of paper. An obtuse angle, a really good one is down here. I like this. A Y. If I draw a Y, notice this part of my Y at the top, it's wider than 90 degrees. That's obtuse. And if I draw an A, this part at the top is smaller than 90 degrees. It's more narrow. That's acute. All right. An angle is formed when two rays intersect. So if you have, we talked about our rays. Those are lines that have an endpoint, but then they go on in the other direction forever. When they connect here, they create an angle. All right. When they intersect means they collide or they run together. The common endpoint is called the vertex. This point right here, that's the vertex. All right. We have some names for our rays, but more importantly down here, we know acute. These are the definitions you're going to want to use right here. Acute, more closed. The measurement's always between 0 and 90 degrees. A right angle, that's always, they call it a reference angle because you can tell if angles are obtuse or acute based on that. If it's long, if it's wider, it's obtuse. If it's more narrow or smaller, like this, it would be acute. Right angles are always 90 degrees. Obtuse angles, they're more open, just like this guy right here. They measure between 90 and 180 degrees. All right, so this little section here, I think that this will be the most important section for helping you on your exit ticket and on your Tower of Power. All right, so go ahead, pause the video now, do that Tower of Power, and then I'll see you over at the exit ticket for a little bit of help there too. All right, y'all, see you in a minute. Okay, so our exit ticket for today, question 1. An angle which is less than 90 degrees. Which option is correct for that statement? If it's less than 90 degrees, is it obtuse, acute, right, or straight? All right, question 2. If it's greater than 90 degrees, remember, this is 90 degrees. Is it obtuse? So if it's greater than that, it would look like this. This is the one we're looking for here. If it's greater than 90 degrees, is it obtuse, acute, right, or straight? What do we call an angle that's exactly 90 degrees? That's question 3. And question 4, you're going to have to drop your values in. So what they're going to have you do is you're going to have some options here. You want to grab it and you want to drag it into the correct place. You have to use all of these angles. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have to use all 5 angles. This is a 5-point question. They all belong in a category, so choose carefully. Some are obtuse, some are acute, and some are 90 degrees, all right? You have lots of tools, and if you need some help, reach out to me. I'm by my computer all day long. All right, y'all, take it easy. Have a good one. Reach out if you need help, and peace.